Good morning. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing today? I'm the Moon Mama. Today is Tuesday, like I just said, and Tuesday's the day that Mars governs. Mars is currently at the 20th degree of Virgo. Mars is the energy that governs our assertiveness, our ability to take actions. Mars is actually, one of the things like studying these energies, it's like what actually makes us function the way that we do, right? Like, and Mars rules your physical body. Mars is the fact that you can walk through the earth. Mars, it's the masculine aspect of you. It's the actual expression of your internal world. So Mars is where we take on we all have masculine and feminine energy, but Mars is the body, and it is the active force that moves us through this 3D reality, through this earth realm. Mars is our assertion, our ability to assert ourselves, what we're attracted to. Mars is also Mars governs Aries, so it's our ability to begin things. It's our ability to begin things, and that's the thing that's really significant. It's the energy of the warrior. So it's the energy of like when you really want to bring new power into your life and really bring something out of the invisible and into the seen. Mars is the energy that helps us do that. And like I said, Mars is also our attraction. So right now, Mars is at the 20th degree of Virgo. It actually happens to be conjunct my natal sun right in this moment. And the thing that I'm experiencing is that I'm experiencing overwhelming flows of energy that feel like my life, like I feel like overrun with energy, literally. Like I feel like my vagina is gonna explode. I start to say it. Like I feel like because that's what Mars is. Mars is your sexuality, right? And so Mars conjunct my sun in Virgo, and it governs the lower intestines area. So Virgo is that integrating force in the second chakra, where we actually are deciding what stays and what goes. And so Mars in that area is like literally my personality with the sun is like what parts of your personality are you going to let go of and what parts are you going to keep. And so, this is an important time for us to look at sort of our because we get to renew ourselves. We get to make ourselves over. That's the point of all this stuff. The point is not to be who you've always been. But we have a blueprint, right? So, you can't, like, I can't decide to change my race. I can't decide that, oh, I'm going to be an Asian woman. Like, some things are fixed, right? But I can decide how I'm going to use this particular configuration of womanhood, of the God, of the Godhead, of the divine. How do I want to arrange that? How do I want to show up in my life? And we can change that. We can change the way we relate to people. We can change the way we relate to ourselves. We can change the way we relate to our bodies. We can change everything through what? Changing our minds, changing our thoughts, right? Thought is the way that we change. And Mercury governs Virgo, and that's what so literally we want to look at for me personally, because I'm a Virgo, I'm looking at the way I relate to my own energy. That's what I'm looking at. Like, how do I relate to my own energy? What behavior patterns are serving me that, because it's like ultimately you want to have goals and objectives for your life, right? A 1 month goal. What's your goal today? What's your goal for this week? What's your goal for, this 5-year period? And then the question is, whatever you're doing, does it move you towards your goal, right? So whatever my goal is for today, my goal today is to be able to be as internal, as present in the moment as I can, because I have a tendency to be in my head thinking about all sorts of stuff, even as I'm with people I'm always sort of like off and like, well, what about this? And what are they doing in personal conversations, because I have Venus in Libra, right? So Venus in Libra is always in the ethers in conversation. So I'm working to train myself to be present. And literally, it's like letting go of how I have usually functioned. So like I said, my energy, like my life force energy feels really strong right now. And so I'm really remembering when I was 13 or 12 years old and I started my period. Puberty, right? Puberty comes in. Puberty is when our power comes to us. And when my power came to me as a child, I literally had no idea what it was. No one, I didn't know what to do. I was just like, what is this? So it turned into being really promiscuous, right? And so I'm just recognizing like, oh, I have that energy is back again. Now, how can I use that energy and a power in a way that actually is considerate, like thoughtful, and not because I'm in reaction to, my libido, not because I'm in reaction to like, oh, I'm horny, or because that's life force energy. That energy is God energy. That energy is creative energy. That energy, like I said, is life force energy. And we've been conditioned in this country, this Mars energy, right? Mars is our attraction. We've been conditioned in this country that it means these things that are half-hearted. We don't have all the power, right? We don't have all the understanding. So as women, when our sexual energy has been ignited, it can bring up shame or like, oh, I need to have this kind of lover experience and it needs to be this kind of way, rather than understanding this is just my energy and I can do with it what I like. I can do with it what I please. I can use it for, say, to be with a lover or to create something that is great for me, or I can share it, or it's our power. The Virgo energy is the feminine power, and Mars is our attraction, right? So this feminine, sensual, sexual energy that is life force, that is creative, belongs to you only. That's the thing about Mars or Virgo. Your energy, your power, like there's something for us to understand, especially as the feminine, that you can't, we are conditioned to give it away, but it really would benefit us if we understood it before we gave it away. If we literally took time to understand what is this energy in our hearts that makes us yearn and desire, and what is it? What's it there for? What does it do in our lives? How does it inform us, right? This power, like it's difficult to put words to if you know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, give me some hearts or something. But it's just this power in women that I feel like we mismanage because we have been conditioned to believe, oh, it means I need to have a baby. It's my clock ticking. Or we've been conditioned to think like, oh, this means I need a husband. Or this means, I'm looking for a man. And what I see that we do with it, or that I have done with it, is that I assign it into some way to function before I understand what it is. I give it like, oh, this means that I want to be in love and be married. And so I'm constantly looking for the story to match the feeling. And then when I encounter people, I don't really get to know them. I'm literally putting my desire upon them because all this energy, all this stuff is leading me. It's propelling me. And I'm not really giving myself permission to really understand, like, what is this thing? And what does it really want? And what does it really need? And what's the best way to actually use it? Before I go use it to shop or fuck or marry or, you know what I mean? Like what is this? Because what I have discovered, and, if you guys are my age or younger or even older, every time I have followed that energy without asking what it really is or what it really needs, and I just assign it to something or someone, I'm never fulfilled. I never feel right. I never do. I'm always like, I probably shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like, I could have waited on that one, or that one costs more. It never pays off, is what I want to say. It never pays off. For me. Maybe it has paid off for some of you, but it hasn't paid off for me. So that's why I'm really at the development that I am now in my maturity and my spirituality and in my life, and with astrology. I literally have learned enough to know, don't feed this energy before you actually find out what it wants to eat. Or if it even needs to eat. Like, literally just feel the power of the essence of your life force. Just feel it. Just feel it. Just feel the magnitude of that energy that is feminine power. And I'm telling you, when I do, y'all, it takes my breath away. Like, it literally snatches me. It's like, whew. And I understand why we're so eager to get, because it's unbelievable. Okay, somebody says, I've been holding on to mine and building it up for more than a year. I use it to love myself in truth. Come on now. Woo! That's some good stuff, right? It is really good. So Mars in Virgo and the moon is in Gemini, right? So the moon is in Gemini, and the moon and this Gemini Mars energy is asking us to make something new, right? So I happen to have a Gemini moon and a Virgo sun. So those energies square one another. And a square means you have to make something. A square means you're not going to get it. A square is like this, right? You're not going to, it's not working together. They're working kind of in, at odds with one another. So you have to find a way. It's like for me with my son, it's like my personality and my inner world are at odds. So literally what I'm experiencing is my personality is like, do what you've always done with this energy. Go find somebody to mount. And my inners are like, why don't you just try to feel it and see how it feels to just be with your power, right? So those two are in opposition in some way to one another. So I literally am kind of just teetering sort of back and forth, doing breath work, literally writing out my visions, just harnessing my energy, and then doing a lot of like forgiveness work, because I have had a lot of time on the planet to misuse this energy and do a great deal of harm to myself. So, Gemini is like, what story are you telling? What's the story you're telling? And when I looked, the moon was at 23 degrees, and that's randomness, right? So Gemini is random. Gemini is scattered, and it's the mind. It's everywhere. It's all things. So one of the things that I have been doing with this Gemini energy is collapsing polarities. Like, I've been looking at the places inside of myself where I have been resisting, right? Where I'm like, no, like, so for me, there are stories and scenarios that I resist. We all do, right? Like, so what we did is kind of the thing that I did with Trump. It's like, that's the bad guy. Run the other way. He's not me. I'm not that. So literally the work is to understand, for me, that we're all this, that we're all of it, right? So everything comes from within. Everything is a story. Every external experience is born from within, right? So the things that we resist, the things that we're afraid of, we continue to project because we won't collapse and move through the energy, right? So with randomness, it's like, go into the things that you're fucking afraid to look at, right? And just be with it. So how I have done this, like, so I might be like, okay, I'm jealous. Like, I'm like, okay, jealousy. And then it's like, what ignites jealousy inside of me? And I might call in a scenario in my mind of, somebody that I love loving somebody else. And I will feel that. I will literally feel it in my body, like, ooh, woo, like what? It burns, the thought of like losing love, but then it neutralizes. it neutralizes, and then it doesn't burn anymore. And then you own it, right? You own it. So cold showers help with this. Cold baths help with this. Ice baths, to get yourself more comfortable with uncomfortable mindsets and ideas. Like, don't resist anything, because if you're going to become a conscious creator, you can't be afraid of anything. You have to know that, I need everything. Like, the universe uses everything. So Gemini is the trickster. It's like, Gemini is Trump. Gemini is Kanye, right? Like, these are Gemini energies, and you cannot be at odds with insanity or looking bad, or you gotta be willing to have your fucking human experience, and to know that it's all God, and to know that it's all good, and to know that God and the devil are the same. And here's the thing. I was watching the Bruce Jenner documentary last night, Caitlyn Jenner, right? And I studied the human experience, and Caitlyn Jenner said, I wasn't afraid of pain. You cannot fucking be afraid of pain. You can't. You cannot be afraid of pain. You can't be afraid of the things that you think are going to bring you pain. You've got to actually be willing to embrace them. You got to be willing. That's what makes you a champion. That's what gives you, is to embrace the stuff that you're afraid of. Embrace it. Walk into it. Don't fucking run from it. And when you do that, you neutralize it. You neutralize it and you own it. So with that, that's what we're up to today. Like, the Mars energy is about really our sexuality. And so maybe like me, you guys will find that you have a whole lot of sexual energy, like just moving like, right? If you do, make a choice how to be with it. Be conscious about how to be with it, right? Be conscious about, God, I'm gonna fuck that cat up, I swear to God. Be conscious about how to be with the energy that's like, literally, because it will make you, it'll like the sexual energy. When I tell you I lost myself after puberty, I literally just got pulled into who knows what, because that sexual energy is that compelling, right? So the more we can control it and manage it and use it intentionally and psychically, and the more you own it and it doesn't own you, the more powerful you are. And so when you can match that inner feeling with a new mental picture, Gemini mind, right? But you can't be avoiding things. You can't be afraid, right? Because it's like, Spirit shows me, like, it's like when you go to the grocery store. You just go in the grocery store to shop. You're not afraid. If you're a vegan, you're not in the grocery store being like, oh my God, I don't want to see the cheese. I don't want to see the cheese. Oh my God, that's cheese, right? You're just like, I'm just going to get the cheese I eat. I don't eat dairy cheese. I eat vegan cheese. I eat almond cheese, right? If you're a vegetarian, you're not in the grocery store like, oh my God, there's a cow. You're just like, I don't eat beef. You don't get it, right? So that's why you've got to neutralize the things that are going on in your consciousness that would have you be at odds, that would have you create resistance, right? It's the resistance that keeps you out of your power. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I think I've said enough. Peace and blessings, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.